Alright, Season 22 has finally launched. It has been 5 days now that the games came out. I could have made this tier list day one, honestly, just reading the patch notes, just knowing the game launch that I have, but I wanted to go in the pubs, test out every single legend, see what it's about, and just overall get a general idea of what I'm talking about. Now, after Season 21, there's officially 25 legends in this game, so it is harder more than ever to make an opinion-based tier list that everyone's going to agree on. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with everything, so just a heads up, this is my opinion and my opinion only. If you guys disagree with certain legends, let me know in the comment section below, but it's not that serious at the end of the day, so let's just get straight into it. Alright, so we're just going to go left to right in order. The first one we have is Alter. She actually got a little bit of buff this season. Her Q works a little bit better, but mainly it's due to the fact that her ultimate now works better when on down teammates. It was always you had to get line of sight of the fallback, and honestly, she is a very complex character. If you decide to learn to master her, she could be very, very well done. But for the general person who spends maybe 50 to 100 hours on her, she's still not, that's just not enough time still to get her kit well integrated, I would say. So for me, I'm gonna go B tier. I would really argue an A tier. Honestly, her kit is very, very well complex, and it's gonna be very hard to master. One thing I will note though, in ranked late game, if you don't have a Loba on your team, she is a mini Loba. She could gather things up for your team, ammo, batteries, med kits, anything like that, just from nearby boxes that teams have wiped, and you're just waiting to make that last minute push. Second, we got up Ashe. I mean, I feel like a rework is coming with her because one, her tether is a very good tool set, but I know for a fact they don't want to make it any stronger because it would be very, very annoying, just as much as with Ballistic. Like their kit, their tacticals are very strong in the right spot, but they don't want to make them any stronger, and they're very weak in a certain spot too. So it just balances out to a neutral area that's not all great. Her ultimate is mainly for height, so she's really good on the new E District map and maps like Storm Point and Broken Moon, World's Edge and King's Canyon, all that stuff. Not so much. I don't know. She's good. She's not great. She's not bad. She's in a mix, and I'm just gonna have to go with C tier because she offers escapability with your team and offers you to push a team with her ult, but at the end of the day, like, that's about it. Her tether is not going to really like break a game in any means. And so far with Ballistic, unfortunately, Ballistic, his ultimate, if you put the right guns, maybe like a Havoc or the Akimbo Mozambiques, if you put that in his third kit, where when you ultimate, you get an automatic gold gun. Depending on the gold gun that you get, it could be very, very, very detrimental if you actually hit your shots. But at the end of the day, it comes down to him ulting and just giving your team ammo and fast reload, and that's about it. Because even if you hit the tactical, someone could just wait it out. Like, they have to shoot within like 5 seconds for it to be an actual like burn to the effect. So unless you're like in their face, you shoot the tactical, that's really going to be the advantage that you get with him. But besides that, he's just not all that great. I would even argue D tier. I'll actually just slide him in D tier because I think he is better than Ashe in my personal opinion. Even with all the recent nerfs that Bangalore has gotten in the last few seasons, she is still an S tier legend due to the fact that no matter what's thrown at her, she is the ultimate like jack of all trades legends. The fact that if someone comes in from behind, she can smoke off LOS of those people and get away with her double time and getting shot at. She has ultimate to get people off high ground. She has ultimate to push other teams back third partying. She has smokes to cover for you and your team when you're looting or when you just need to block someone's line of sight off. And then the fact that her also perk gives her just, you get attachments for your guns, you get more ammo for your gun. She brings everything to the team that you would want. It's annoying that she's still as good as she is because she's been in the meta for so long. But it's hard to take her out, man. Like, they would really have to reduce her smokes. They already recently tried to, but she's just too good. A Bloodhound honestly got a nerf, but I personally think this is more towards competitive Apex than it is anything else. You can still run Bloodhound easily in ranked. I would go A tier for Blood. A quick scan, you can't really mess up a scan. Like, unless you look at the wrong direction, you really can't mess up a scan. That information in a battle royale is so important to a team to make a correct push. Very hard to mess up a scan. The ultimate is what really got nerfed with Bloodhound. Just the fact that you can't see through smokes anymore. But like I said, in regular ranked, regular pubs, Bangalore isn't going to be used as much as other legends due to the fact that she's not the most fun legend to use. People in ranked, pubs or in ranked rather just rock someone like Horizon, Fuse, Wraith, Octane, Pathfinder. There's just other legends that people rather use in Bangalore. And so for that reason, Blood just gets an edge over that because that's the only thing that he got nerfed on. Everything else is just pretty much about the exact same, and it's the fact that he's so good at getting information for people. It helps the team dramatically. Now, Catalyst and all controllers honestly got a buff this season due to the fact that in zone she has an extra shield until you cap out at red, then it doesn't go above that. But if you have purple, you have red shield. If you have blue, you have purple shield. It just gets added on if you're in the ring, if you're in the zone. So all controller legends got a buff in the fact that they can also pull back their equipment from a far 75-meter range. Unfortunately, with her, it's like the only legend that, I don't know if it's a bug right now, but she's the only legend that has to have like direct line of sight to do it. You can do it like cross room if you're seeing it, but like doing it through buildings, you can't do it. And I don't know if that's a bug or not, but she is a great legend, honestly. There's nothing more annoying than having to deal with pushing someone in a room fenced up through her. She could lock down doors very well. It makes it you have to waste your grenades to get in there, and you can't flush them out with grenades after you break the doors because you probably waste all your grenades on the doors. She has spikes that will slow you down if you don't shoot them out, and there's correct angles that you could use to make the spikes very hard to shoot. And she's just someone that is very annoying to push against. More annoying than Caustic in my opinion. So for that reason, personally, it's between A and B, and I'm gonna go A here because there's other control. She's up there with just like holding down line of sight or holding down areas for people. Now Caustic got a bit of a nerf this season, even though he got a buff in the sense that he's in zone and everything. The whole when you shoot someone, I think it's called game sense, battle sense, or something like that. The fact that when you shoot him back in the day, like you could even this last season when you were in his gas, he was very hard to see. You know, you'd pop some of his things. He would also, if you chose a perk thing, he would upgrade in his, like he would heal in his gas, and that's not the case anymore. I mean, that is still the case, but the fact of like, you know that he's in his gas, if you just do a quick spray in that gas and you hit just one bullet on him, his health bar is going to be outlined, and now you're at a disadvantage if you're Caustic because you just see where the shots are coming from. You're in the gas, your line of sight of that person is blocked with your own gas, and now they have pretty much exactly where you're at due to the fact that your health bar is right above and they just have to shoot the health bar. So for him, he got a bit of a nerf. I would say C. I would say last season he was about B tier, but just that game sense nerf really did cost him. And just honestly, his gas has been pretty nerfed the last couple seasons. There's other legends like Wattson that I just rather play or have on my team personally than a Caustic. A Conduit is someone who is almost like another jack of all trades in the fact that she helps support your team in the sense of shields, which getting shields is like used to be like number one you would want to heal because you wouldn't have that aim flinch anymore. Now they took that away. So she is as well got a tad nerf, but not as much as you would assume or think. She's still really incredible. Her and Lifeline, people that can help the team heal up in a fight. But the thing is, Conduit doesn't have to be near you. Lifeline can heal you, but you have to get near the drone. And yes, it does heal from a decent meter. It's got to be like 10 meters, I would say, maybe 5 meters that you have to be close to the drone. But Conduit could do it from 50 meters away. She can heal you 50 meters away. You just gotta break sight of that person shooting you for like a few seconds, and you'll be almost right back in the shield department. So for me and her with her ult, pretty much making it like a controller ult in the sense where you don't want to push an area. She could completely block off an area for you to push unless you have to shoot her things. She's got a very strong kit. And just as up, I probably will readjust a couple of these at the end if I have too many in one area, but someone I expected never to put in the top tier is Crypto. Now, Crypto for me, I still am a very aggressive player. I like to, once I get the shield cracked, I like to pounce on them, punish them for peeking me, punish them for doing things that they did. And Crypto, unfortunately, is a person who has to be in his drone to get most of his capabilities out of it. But his drone and his overall kit has gotten improved. He's got now off the grid where he is completely invisible when he's in his drone, which is huge. So you don't have to be as skeptical of going behind a rock for cover to do so. You could just, if an enemy team doesn't have line of sight and you're running towards the team, you could just do it in the open field and no one's going to see you. And then 2, once he ults, if you get the right proper upgrade, once he ults and you EMP a team, that team is now scanned for 4 seconds in that ult, or in that, you're essentially scanned, like it's a Bloodhound scan, but for 4 seconds, which is huge. So your team essentially can make the proper push perfectly, and then the drone's going to be sitting above, so if they decide to leave the building and move out, it's going to rescan them again. The scans go through windows, so if you put the drone at window, you pretty much have constant wall hacks unless they break your drone, which they have to probably go outside and break it. I don't know, he's top tier now. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot in the competitive scene. It's such a boring thing to see, but he is an actual A tier legend. I never thought I would see the day, but he's up there. It's just not my playstyle personally, but if that is more your playstyle, he's an incredible legend to get. You could get banners, he can scan beacons, he can EMP. He's just one of the best recon legends in the game. If not considered the best legend in the game, it's ridiculous. Now Fuse is just that pesty, annoying legend to come up against. He essentially got a nerf this season due to the fact that another legend got a buff, and a heavy buff, and we're going to talk about that later, but he's really good. Like, Fuse is that pesty, annoying guy to go up against. I would consider him high B tier, low A tier. The fact that he could get, like I said, attachments for your team, he is double stacks on the ammo, his grenades are so good. The fact that you can people chose not to pick Fuse, and I chose personally not to pick Fuse back in the day due to the fact that I could not run through his ring. Like, you ult off the team and you're kind of out of the fire. Like, okay, I'm all the roof for you guys. I'll be in the lower end. Like, I'll be in this area because I can't run through that. I'm gonna get destroyed by it. And with the proper upgrades, if you choose not to do the ring, but you choose to allow yourself to run through his ring with taking 50% less damage, you can actually push very aggressive with your team with him. And he's just the best you got to go up against, man. In maps like E District and World's Edge that are very close combat, like indoor fights, and you're just from afar taking them away, and then you decide that, I've done a lot of damage, I'm gonna push in now. He's just a pest you got to go up against, and someone I hate going against personally. Now Horizon, probably my third main. I think I first main Lifeline, then Bangalore, and then her when she first came out. Incredible legend. I love her to death. She's been nerfed to the ground, or they've attempted to nerf her to the ground since the last few seasons. She's still incredible play. Yes, her kit isn't as good as it used to be, man. It was like, I would for sure argue it was absolutely broken. The fact that you had perfect, there's no aim resistance on it. You could go up the lift and completely aim perfectly fine with a gun. Her lift was super fast. Cooldown was slower. Like, everything about her was just like, wow, how do you not pick Horizon? Like, she was just top tier. There was no other legend that was like better. But with being said, she's still up there. I wouldn't consider S tier anymore. It's hard to say on A tier, honestly. It's just the fact that her Q, her ability could get you and your team to high ground instantly. Like, unless you get, like, Pathfinder, you have to do a zip. And Wraith, you have to do a port. And Revenant is the only one that could climb up a wall with that distance. And Vantage could queue up and other stuff like that. But she could get your entire team to high ground in an instant. And not only that, but like, it's pretty silent. The audio in this game is pretty broken. And she just gets you and your team so up, so fast. And with an instant, you could just take on a fight. Now, her Q is also just like versatile, the fact of blocking doorways, getting other teams out of cover. Like, if they're hiding behind cover and you ran out of grenades, you could throw the Q right there and they'll shoot up in the air and it'll surprise them and it's a free knock. There's just so many versatilities with her personally, and her ultimate, if it's a good place ultimate, can honestly wipe a team. If they're in a sticky situation, they're all healing, they're all behind cover, you throw an ult with 2 or 3 grenades, there you go. They get pulled by that, it's GG for them. And here's another legend, even with this last season, I didn't expect to put so high, but Lifeline is up there, considered S tier in ranked, for just the fact of how well she could reset a team. Top tier resetting a team, man. The thing with Lifeline, if you choose to play her, though, you really got to play Anchor because of her gold knockdown being as strong as it is. The fact that you could rest someone and still like give them cover yourself. Someone like Newcastle can't do so, but he has other abilities that would make him just as strong in some areas. But Lifeline is incredible, very, very good. And she just deserves to go A tier. She did get a nerf this season where you can't get Evo cash anymore, so you can't get that red shield when you get purple. But I think that's a solid nerf, to be honest with you. And if I'm gonna honestly give her a, there's just way too many going in A department. I think Catalyst would go down to B due to the fact that like just there's certain things with her. Now Loba is really good, top tier. You want to talk about resetting legends? This girl could ring out. She could craft banners, and then after you craft banners, she throws on her shop, and your teammates get all the ammo and 2 stacks of batteries that they want, and your team's reset. Like you're solid. Incredible for solo queue players that like to play ranked. As far as that though, she's essentially just loot based. That's about it. Like she has the ability to get to height, but you can't mess up a ring. If you mess it up, you could put yourself in a really bad position. It's more of a get out of sticky situations type of ring. I wouldn't put her any higher than B in the sense that like she doesn't offer too much to the team except for reset ability and loot, and you could only go so far with loot. Like you having pushing an ability, I would rather have so many legends going into a fight than her, because she's not really doing much for you going into a fight. Like her, it's an abilities based game at the end of the day. You know, it's abilities plus game and aim, and she just doesn't offer as much for the abilities department. Now Mad Maggie, oh gosh, she got an actual huge nerf this season. The fact that shotguns are actually gotten a lot better, a lot more consistent with their the pellet spread got decreased, and then just also that, but the pellets as well got more damage to them. I would give her an A tier just due to the fact that she is so annoying to go up against if you play someone who's actually very well at playing her. You can't hide behind cover on her. She puts so much pressure on your team. She could Mad Maggie. If a Mad Maggie ball hits you, you consider yourself just dead at that point, because you're stunned for like 3 minutes straight. That's what it feels like at the time being, at least. She's just really good. With the shotgun buff, I think it's that good. Where if you use a combo of Mozambiques and you get the perk of reload shotgun on knock, you could literally wipe a team with her. Like those Mozambiques with disruptor rounds are incredible. They have 12 shots per mag, and like I said, if you knock someone, they just automatically reload if you pick that perk, and she's just ridiculous, and she's not talked about as much in my opinion. Now people love this guy to death. I don't exactly know why. He's super fun to play with in pubs and just mess around, but at the end of the day, we're talking about like true help to the team. He helps in certain departments of distraction more than anything. He goes invisible when he's rezzing you. Give him a gold knock, that could help a lot, especially you and him are both going to be invisible for like 2 seconds, I would say, to allow yourself to get away in a better spot. But dude, Lifeline's better, Newcastle's better, Conduit's better. He's more of a fun tier, and if you play a good Mirage who knows how to break line of sight before using his ultimate or before using his tactical to send out a decoy, he could be strong. But at the end of the day, you start getting into the platinum and higher lobbies, people catch on quicker, and you could only do so much with your distractions at that point, especially in Diamond Plus lobbies. Like you're pretty much like being a disadvantage towards your team. Now, do I think that there's some Mirage players out there that are incredibly good and can really mess up a team and make it very annoying? Yes, but it takes a lot of time and effort to get to there. You got to know when to all breaking line of sight, so they have absolutely no idea who the real Mirage is or not. It's a skill set for him, and at the end of the day, like, I don't know, you have to really put the time and effort for him to be decent. And that's just a lot of other legends. You don't have to put that time and effort, and you're already just a better legend just by just picking them. Now Lifeline, I mean not Lifeline, my bad. Newcastle, I would say, got a buff this season in the sense where if you make it to where the ring refreshes and you go to those gold bins, there's a lot of gold knockdowns now. Newcastle with the gold knockdown plus his ultimate plus his tactical with the shields. He's just pretty much like a stay safe, better Gibby legend. And looking at Gibby, there actually isn't no Gibby here, so we gotta like redo that. But yeah, like he's just incredible. He could pull you out of a sticky situation where you're knocked in a bad spot. You have Gold Knock. Gold Knock has 750 health. That's gonna be very hard for a team that's all not shooting at the exact same time to not allow you to get that res up. And then once you got the res up, there's so many things you could do with that. You and your team now have like, it's just a full reset, man. His ultimate is really good end game when there's not much, like the area's ending in a bad area where there's not many buildings. You actually could build yourself like a little mini wall, give yourself cover from that. Good teams, if they have like a Loba or something like that, they don't mind shooting it out. It does take a little bit of time, but you know, I just think Newcastle with the new supply bin's getting a reset, it's a lot easier to get a gold knockdown for him. And if you stick, I just personally see him showing himself more often these days now with that. Octane, the movement legend himself, one of the best of the abilities in that movement department. Horizon, him and Wraith are like the top tier of that department. Pathfinder, I don't know how I left him out, but yeah, Octane, man, I love this man. I'm a little biased because I love him, but at the end of the day, I know this is where just like the people from Mirage gotta like just swallow their ego and be like, I love this guy, but at the end of the day, I know he's not that great. Just the same thing with Octane, like amazing pubs legend in the sense where he's just fun, but like he's such a selfish legend, man. He doesn't really help anything with the team. He can help pad you out of, like, if you're knocked, you could throw a pad to your teammate and get him back into cover. Cool. He can pad you into a team, but now you hear that more than ever with the new update, which is great because, oh my gosh, they were terrible before. If anyone remembers the Reptane, you just pop. I don't know, that's a long story, but anyways, Octane personally just doesn't offer much for a team. He's more of a fun legend than anything else. Can you still get a lot done with him? If you're just an straight up fragger, you could get out of 6 situations and you could just be a real menace to a team. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, he's not all that great. So for that, I would give him C tier. Now here's probably a controversial one, and I don't disagree with you, probably disagreeing with me on this, but Path, I would consider low S, high A. I want to put him at A tier because I think S tier is like top picks, like it's a must pick. I don't think he's a must pick, but dude, with his upgrades, the fact that you could choose depending on what your team looks like, you can choose either scans or you could choose ring, and that has a lot of versatility in it in its own right. You could choose to play zone, you could choose to be aggressive with him. The thing with him that makes him a little lower on the, like, I would consider him full S tier if his hitbox wasn't as big as it is, but he could grapple himself out of situations a lot of the times. But that second perk is ridiculous, man. People don't understand, like, when you have that, if you choose to push on a team and you choose to upgrade on the purple perk where you take 50% less damage on ziplines, you can literally zipline on a team with almost little to no consequences. Like, that first person that's going to be on the zip, if they're all looking at you, is going to take like 100 damage max. So he's going to get his shield cracked, and that's about it. Like, yes, there are certain times where if like literally all three are looking at you and spraying you, the first person most likely will get knocked, but those are rare circumstances, man. So you could literally send in third-party team for essentially free. And if you coordinate well with your team, man, he is just a strong full push legend. And the fact that he could, if depending on who you have on your team, like if you have a Seer that could scan people and he could just do the ring, like it's a very strong combination. And for me, I would argue that he's low S tier, but I'm going to put him at the A tier for the sake of the video. You guys ready for one that's I never thought I'd put in S tier? And I think a lot of people are just going to disagree with me, but Rampart is now S tier, and for certain reasons that you're just going to be like, what? But one, she can now pick up her little like barriers, you would say, whatever you want to call them. She can now pick up her barriers remotely. Amazing. She now gets her ultimate like right off drop. It takes like 10 seconds for her to get it, and she gets like what, 50-60 bullets. And her ultimate, if we all know, is really, really good depending on how you position yourself and how you use it. But now it's not just like you get your ultimate to 100% and then boom. Like it's actually like per ammo now. Like it continues to slowly stack, just like Vantage is. Like Vantage, she gets like per bullet and it slowly stacks. So you can use it whenever, but you're only gonna get one shot. With Vantage, or with Rampart, I should say, it's now like once you get like that one little thing in, now it's like, okay, you probably have 50 shots now. That and the fact those two are amazing, but the thing that makes it the third one is she has her passive gives abilities faster reload to LMGs, and now with the new hop up, if you decide to use a Spitfire, an L-Star, or anything like that, with her shield already as it is, plus, dude, this like I haven't done the numbers to it, but it's 40 shield for the LMGs on your gun. Then I think the actual shield itself is like 150 damage. If you position yourself correctly and do everything correctly, dude, like she can be a top tier legend. And I think a lot of people are just like missing that. But like the hop up plus remotely grabbing them, plus her Sheila being able to be used at once, dude. Like I truly think like mid-season you're gonna notice that people are noticing how great she is and are gonna start using her a lot. So get ready for that. And until they do anything with Revenant S tier, I don't think we really have to talk about it. This dude is a full-on one-man army himself. You pop ultimate and you have an extra 75 shield. You get a knock, you get that 75 shield back. If you're playing controller, as in like you're on a controller and you decide not to use them, I don't know what you're doing, because you just prounce into a team, you knock one person, your 75 shields back. You could pretty much wipe out a team if you have good enough aim. Dude's annoying. He could climb buildings onto another level. There's not much like this guy cannot do for your team. He's a selfish legend for sure, but a selfish legend that is his top tier and very, very hard to get rid of. Like, he's very annoying to play against. Now, Seer actually got a little bit of a buff this season. He now has 2 scans, but the duration is slower. Like I said, I'm gonna probably rage a lot of this stuff in a second. How you could consider Seer A tier? Like I'm not knocking you if you say that he's A tier. If you want to say that, I just personally, he's a legend that like if you miss your scan, you're screwed. And a scan, it's pretty big. Like if you see the person on your like hands or whatever you want to consider them, if you see them there and you miss it, it's you kind of did a bad scan, but at the same time, it's also not the hardest thing to dodge if like he kind of miscued it. So, but now you have 2, but you have to have purple to get that. And then his ultimate, you could just crouch in his ultimate. So at the end of the day, like you could throw your ult and you still have to kind of push them and not know exactly where they're at. But at the same time, like I said, if you're third partying a team and a massive fight's going down, you throw your ultimate down, bro, you could literally clean up so fast. So much information is getting dropped. And then you could queue a person, you take away their abilities for, I think it's like 5 seconds, 4 seconds, something like that. He has the ability, if played in the right hands, to give the most information out of any legend there is, except for Crypto. Crypto, just the fact that you could just go in your drone and know what the entire map is doing. Just you could literally shoot that thing up 200 meters in the sky and know exactly what the entire map is doing. But regardless, you have to be in your drone for that. This one, you don't have to be in your drone. You just have to place things down correctly. You have to know how to use a legend correctly. So you could argue A tier. I'm gonna go with B tier just for the average person. But Seer did get a little bit of buff this season, and it's a nice welcome because we need better recon legends. Now Valk is so situational, man. Like if you are the team that finds yourself playing Edge and you just need a Valk ult into zone, she could be your lady. E District, World's Edge, both those map very high building lobbies or maps, I should say. She's one of the only legends that can like zip in and out of those. Like you go to second floor to third floor by just going to the balcony, flying up to the next one. Like she offers you so much of that ability of just like movement around, especially if you're on controller and you don't have that same like tap strafing and all the movement that you have on M and K. But besides that, like she gives you information on the sky when you ult, so you can land on a team. You can be very aggressive if you choose to do so. But I don't know, man. Like her swarm missiles are cool. You have to kind of choose to go about upgrading your ultimate though in that department. And like I said, like she's good. She's not great. It's just playstyle based, really. I would go B tier, maybe C tier. That's a tough one. That's honestly a tough one. I'm gonna probably look at it and adjust it at the end. Now Vantage actually got a buff this season, like a strong buff. Her ultimate now gives you like 2.5. Her when you snipe, it's actually more damage now. Multiplier by 2.5. Her bat being like her Q ability, getting around. You just have to have LOS. But if you're like in a build, like you literally like go parkour and like run on buildings now. Like how weird it is. But at the end of the day, she's the only legend that can choose both scan and ring. That's an insane perk to have. Her sniper is very annoying now. Her sniper is really good. So if you're a good sniper, like consider choosing her. She's actually incredible now. She could 2-tap any armor if they don't have the right helmet. If you have like gray helmet, she could 2-tap. If she gets that headshot, she could 2-tap a red armor. That's ridiculous. And I feel like you're going to see a lot more advantages this season going into now Wattson. Ooh-wee. I'm going as boldly to say S tier. I'm going as boldly to say S tier due to the fact the ring console, she gets more ring. Her last season, she got an update that people didn't really know about. It wasn't in patch notes, but her shields recharge faster now. Her ultimate got a buff where you could choose unlimited. Like, so if you decide to just sit in zone and really not move anywhere, and you decide to peek and do damage and see if you get red shield, you could just keep coming back to the gen, keep getting shields. It's gonna recharge itself. Don't worry about it. But if you decide to be that aggressive, Wattson, and choose the other upgrade, you recharge your shields like very very fast now. It's easy to break that pylon, but at the end of the day, with E District and Worlds, E District being like the main map that we're looking at right now this season, she is the queen of E District, man. Like, she is insane. All those zipline areas, she could cover areas in a building so well. I personally just think that Wattson is almost a must pick on E District. Like, she's that good. It's wild to see. I love to see it. I think Wattson's an incredible character to play, fun character to play. But she won't be S tier if you're playing on maps like Stormpoint. But E District, World's Edge, like, she's S tier. If you're playing other maps, she's A tier. So, but that's just my opinion. And then lastly, beloved Wraith. I'm gonna go with B tier. I'm gonna go with C tier. I know this is gonna make a lot of people mad, but dude, like, she doesn't offer anything for the team except for like late game rotations. That's it. Like, it's a selfish character that gets out of jail for free, and not even out of free anymore. There's so many times I've tried to queue out because I figured I was in a bad spot and I can't get out. It takes too long. Even with the third perk wind up being 20% wind up reduced, it's still very long. It's not the way it used to be. And there's just been so many more legends that's been added to the game since she's been top tier and been annoying to play against that have just surpassed her, like Horizon, like Revenant, like like, there's just so many people that had been added to the game that you just rather have. I honestly rather have an altar on my team than a Wraith, and that's wild to say. So unfortunately, Wraiths, like, I get you're in your feels, just how I am with Octane, but it is what it is. There's been people that have moved past, and if you like her as much as you do play her in pubs, but in ranked, it's hard to get value out of her to the maximum ability you can than you can with other legends. And so I'm taking a quick glance and see if I can move anyone around. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go here with Valk. And then I'm thinking Conduit to B tier, but she offers a lot to the team, man. She really does. I don't think people realize that her ult and her Q are very, very good. Yeah, I think this is the tier list. I think this is how we're gonna end it. If you like this, guys, I'd appreciate a subscribe. If you guys disagree with me, I completely understand. I've watched tier lists before and I completely disagree with them. Don't beat me in the comment section. At the end of the day, it's an opinion-based video. And yeah, like I said, if you guys like this, give it a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.